Most people do not fail at budgeting because they are lazy, irresponsible, or terrible with money. They fail because their budget is built on a lie. It is the quiet lie people tell themselves at the beginning of every month. This is what I should spend. That single sentence destroys more financial progress than almost any forgotten subscription or expensive coffee habit. The biggest budgeting mistake is not failing to use the right app or spreadsheet. It is building your budget around the person you hope to become instead of the person your bank statements prove you actually are. That is why so many budgets look perfect on the first day of the month and completely collapse before the month is over. You write down rent, insurance, groceries, gas, subscriptions, and an ambitious investing goal. Everything appears under control. Then real life arrives. You order food after a long day, buy a birthday gift, spend more at the grocery store than expected, place a random online order, or pay for a small repair you never included. The budget does not collapse because of one enormous emergency. It collapses because predictable spending was treated like a surprise. The problem is that most people create budgets for a perfect version of themselves. They budget for the person who meal preps every week, never buys anything impulsively, never forgets a bill, never spends emotionally, and never has an expensive weekend. But that person does not exist. There is also the tired version of you, the bored version, the weekend version, and the version who says it is only $18. If your entire financial plan depends on perfect behavior every single day, the plan is already dead. And this mistake becomes extremely expensive over time. Underestimating your variable spending by just $200 per month equals $2,400 every year. Over 10 years, that is $24,000 disappearing before it ever reaches an investment account. If that same $200 were invested monthly and earned an average annual return of 7%, it could grow to roughly $34,600 after 10 years. That is why small budget leaks are not only spending problems, they are opportunity cost machines. Every dollar that disappears today is a dollar that never gets the chance to compound for your future. Unfortunately, most budgeting advice makes the process more difficult than it needs to be. People are told to track every dollar, create dozens of categories, and inspect every transaction like a financial investigator. They follow the system for 2 weeks, miss a few purchases, feel like they failed, and abandon budgeting completely. That is not financial discipline. It is exhaustion disguised as a strategy. The goal is not to become a full-time accountant for your own debit card. The goal is to identify the few categories that repeatedly destroy your progress. Fixed expenses are usually not the mystery. Rent, mortgage payments, insurance, internet, loan payments, and subscriptions are easier to predict because they repeat. The real damage usually comes from variable spending. Restaurants, delivery, shopping, entertainment, convenience purchases, and those so-called one-time expenses that somehow happen every month. This is where people become dishonest without even realizing it. Someone budgets $350 for food, spends $600, and then says the month was unusual. But if the same thing happened during the previous 2 months, $600 is not an emergency. It is the real number finally showing up. You cannot fix spending that you refuse to admit exists. The solution is not a more complicated budget. The solution is to stop using fantasy numbers. Before creating next month's plan, open your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Do not judge yourself and do not immediately start cutting everything. Highlight every variable purchase you forgot making. Those forgotten transactions are the truth. The budget you created from memory was only a story. Then calculate the average for your largest flexible categories. Do not use your cheapest month or the month when you were unusually disciplined. Use the real average. If you spend $420 at restaurants one month, $610 the next, and $530 during the third, your current restaurant spending is approximately $520 per month. It is not $250 simply because $250 sounds more responsible. That does not mean you must spend $520 forever. It means you finally know the number you are trying to change. You cannot reduce a spending category until you stop lying about where it currently stands. This is also where an investing first budget becomes completely different from a normal budget. Most budgets begin with bills, continue with lifestyle spending, and send whatever remains towards savings or investments. The problem is that there is rarely much left. Every month produces another reason to delay investing until later. An investing first budget treats your future like a real bill. You decide how much will automatically go toward investing, saving, or paying down debt before lifestyle spending begins. Then you build the rest of your month around what remains. That single change stops your financial future from depending on leftovers. But this only works when the rest of the budget is honest. You cannot promise yourself that you will invest $500 every month while underestimating your normal spending by $400. That does not create a $500 investment plan. It creates a monthly cash flow fight that will eventually end with the investment transfer being cancelled. The best budget is not the one with the most categories, rules, or impressive spreadsheets. It is the one that still works when life becomes inconvenient. Instead of tracking dozens of categories, separate fixed expenses from variable spending and focus on the 3 areas where your money disappears most often. For many people, those categories are food, shopping, and convenience spending. Yours may be different, but the principle remains the same. This is why so many people earn reasonable salaries but still feel like they have nothing to show for them. The problem is rarely one catastrophic purchase. It is a collection of small expenses that never feel dangerous. A $14 lunch, a $26 delivery order, a forgotten $39 subscription, and a $70 impulse purchase all feel harmless individually. Together, they can become the reason your investment account barely moves. The psychology behind this is simple. People are overly optimistic about their future behavior. They believe next month will be cleaner. Next month they will eat out less, stop impulse buying, and become more disciplined. But if the previous 3 months show the same pattern, the next month probably will not change unless the system changes first. Before we continue, if you've been following this channel, you know I don't waste your time with hype or guesswork. I focus on research, real insights, and tools that can actually help investors. That's why I've partnered with The Motley Fool, one of the most trusted names in the investing world for over 20 years. You'll find my link in the description. Is the easiest way to check them out and see what they offer. That link also gives you access to special deals or discounts they have available right now. And yes, it helps support the channel too. Now let's get back to the video. That is why the answer is not shame, the answer is design. If restaurant spending is your biggest leak, do not simply announce that you will stop eating out. That is not a plan. Set a realistic target based on your actual spending and reduce it gradually. If you currently spend $600 per month, dropping immediately to $100 will probably fail. Start at $450 or $500, prove you can maintain it, and then lower it again. A realistic budget that improves every month is infinitely more powerful than a perfect budget that collapses by the second week. And every dollar removed from a recurring leak should be redirected immediately. If you reduce delivery spending by $100, create an automatic $100 transfer into an investment account, savings account, or debt payment. Do not leave that money sitting in your checking account without a purpose. Money without a job usually gets absorbed by another form of lifestyle spending. This is the difference between cutting expenses and actually building wealth. Spending less does not automatically make you richer. You become richer when the money you stopped spending is redirected toward assets, savings, or debt reduction. Otherwise, you may simply spend it somewhere else and wonder why your financial position never improves. None of this means you should eliminate every enjoyable expense. A budget that removes all entertainment and flexibility usually becomes another temporary punishment. You still need money for restaurants, hobbies, travel, and enjoyment. The goal is not to become miserable or cheap. The goal is to stop being shocked by expenses that happen every month. So here is the one move you should make today. Open your last 3 months of statements and highlight every transaction you forgot about. Do not begin by cutting anything. Begin by exposing reality. Separate fixed expenses from variable spending. calculate the real averages, and build the next month's budget around evidence instead of hope. That is how you stop budgeting wrong. You stop creating a financial plan for a perfect version of yourself. You stop pretending your normal spending is an unusual emergency. And you stop waiting to invest whatever happens to survive at the end of the month. The biggest budgeting mistake is not that you are bad with money. It is that your budget has been built around what you think you should spend instead of what your life actually costs. Once you replace fantasy numbers with real evidence, everything changes. Your cash flow becomes predictable, your investing becomes more consistent, and your money finally starts working with your real life instead of constantly fighting against it. This is it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below.